not really sure. Okay, hopefully this will work. I meant to document yesterday about misdiagnosis and stuff, so these are going to be different parts of, this is part one of being misdiagnosed with multiple sclerosis. In, I want to say early 80s, 83, 84, and I was still young, so 81, I was 18, 19, 20, I'd say about 21, 22 years old. I started to feel weakness in my legs, and I always kind of did have it. Even one of my siblings swears I had it as a teenager, because she said she started to notice that my gait, my walk was different, and she didn't understand it. And I remember being around 17, 18 years old, she said, "Why are you walking like that?" And I just kind of, "What are you talking about?" So what happened was, I would say around 24, 25, I started to get worried, because I started feeling like extreme weakness and fatigue, and I would go to this one doctor. He was a really nice man, but for some reason he just couldn't figure it out, and he even felt baffled and puzzled by the whole thing. But again, this was the early 80s. He did say my bleeding time was really long, for whatever that means. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. So I just kind of let it go. And then 25, 26, I started noticing that my emotions would be really I'd be really angry, and then I'd be really sad. And if I laughed, I would kind of laugh for no damn reason at all. And I would be like, what the hell? And I used to think, well, maybe this is hormones or something, PMS, I don't know. But I can tell you right now that I definitely started to notice that my emotions were not, this car wants to go and I want to go, and I'm trying to be nice and they're giving me a dirty look. Sorry about that, guys. I started to notice that my emotions were so off the hook. I would go from extremes, and I wasn't diagnosed with anything like bipolar or manic depressive, nothing like that. And I would feel more emotional, and I realized that a lot of my emotions had to do with not feeling as active, not wanting to go out and do things like with other people. I felt like I was isolating myself, stuff like that. So I want to say around 27, I started to take it really serious and just really trying to find out what the hell is going on here. And again, no diagnosis. So 29 comes around. I went to this one neurologist. He'll come later on in the story. And I did my own research. This was at 29. I didn't have a computer. The internet wasn't like it is now, where you could just Google something and pretty much diagnose yourself. I went into medical libraries and so forth, and I would read up and symptoms and everything. And I pretty much diagnosed myself. I thought to myself, I have multiple sclerosis. So I went to this one neurologist, and he was just telling me, maybe I needed to lose weight. Okay, I'm almost 5'11", and at that time, I weighed approximately 165 pounds. Are you kidding me? I'm big bone, too, so whatever. And I looked at him and I said, "Dr. So-and-so, do you think perhaps," and I was really nice, I said, "Do you think perhaps I might have multiple sclerosis?" He puts his hand up to his face like that, let me think about this kind of look. And he said, "Oh, that's right, you got your degree at Harvard, right?" And I went, wow. I immediately went into, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to insult you" mode. I apologize. Please forgive me. I was just, and he goes, "Okay, there's nothing that I see wrong here with you. I would suggest exercising more, taking off some weight. As for you saying that you have to go to the restroom with urgency, I think you should plan your schedule accordingly ahead of time before you walk out the door. I'm sure you're very busy, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. That was my first one. Another one, I was 29, I had just gotten married. This woman, you know, she was kind of creepy too. She's over there like stroking my back and, you know, talking to me, going, God, you have such soft, pretty skin. And then she looked at me and she said, I think probably what you're experiencing is, you know, kind of like, you know, maybe the honeymoon stage is going away. And I'm like, I just got married. What are you talking about? Of course I'm in the... Yes, I know. And you're probably having a lot of fun with your husband right now. So you have honeymoon cystitis. That's why you're peeing so much. And I'm like, okay. There I go again with my okay look. Are you kidding me? So those are my first two doctors. And now these were not just simple visits. These were tests. These were... you know, whatever. They didn't do, neither one had ordered an MRI. Nobody had ordered a spinal tap. It was just your regular lab work, little lecturing and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. Whatever. Okay, so that is part one of the beginning of my misdiagnosis. Not nice, right? It'll be interesting to see how it unfolds the rest. If you find it interesting, it's very interesting to me, and I've actually, I could be on the book somewhere. I don't know. I don't think so, but I did have a surgeon tell me, in all my years, la 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 la. We'll get to that later. Anyway, I hope you guys have a really great day. I'm on my way to South County, and I love the cloudy weather. I love beautiful cold weather. I don't care what anyone says. I used to be a sun goddess, and all that went out the door with this condition. I just really enjoy the cold weather. And gosh, if somebody has a cure for not saying post it. Let me know, because I'm so sick of saying it. I can hear it in my vlogs, and it bothers me so bad. I used to be able to be so quick with my words, and I feel like I'm buying time when I say it. Okay, have a good day.